Chapter 6, Class 8, Part 1. So here in this chapter we will discuss about combustion and combustible and non-combustible substances, ignition, temperature, inflammable substances, things necessary for combustion to take place, measures to control fire. So let us start with the topic combustion. What is combustion? A combustion is a chemical process in which a substance reacts with oxygen to give off heat and light is called combustion. So for combustion what is required? Oxygen is required and it always releases heat, but it may or may not release light. So heat is given out in all the cases of combustion, but light may or may not be given out. The burning of wood is an example of combustion. Now we will discuss what are combustible and non-combustible substances. Substances which easily catch fire are called combustible substances. For example, paper, coal, wood. So these things catch fire easily. Okay. Now, substances that cannot catch fire readily are non-combustible substances like sand, water, glass. So they will never catch fire. So they are non-combustible substances. So here we will discuss fuel or combustible substances. The combustible substances which catch fire easily are called fuel, and we use different types of fuel for different purposes. Like any materials that undergoes combustion is called a combustible substance. It is also called as fuel. So some examples of fuels are petrol, diesels, etc. And the fuels may be in solid, liquid or gas state. For example, solid is wood, liquid is your petrol, diesel or kerosene, and gas is your natural gas. Okay, it may be in any form. Sometimes light is also given off during combustion, either as a flame or as a glow. So here in this diagram you can see the wood are taken as the combustible substances. Here the wood has catch the fire and it burns with producing the flame. But sometimes what happened, suppose you take coal, then coal may burn or it may glow. So there are certain substances which may or may not produce light, but they will definitely produce some amount of heat in. Ignition temperature. Now what is ignition temperature? This is very important. It is the minimum temperature at which any material catches fire. You know that for different material or substances we require different temperature to catch the substance fire. For example, if I will take a burning matchstick near a petrol, and also if I take a burning matchstick near paper, then which one will catch fire easily or at first? Definitely it is petrol, because the ignition temperature of petrol is less than the ignition temperature of paper. Inflammable substances. Now, what are inflammable substances? Those substances which have low ignition temperature and catch fire easily are termed as inflammable substances. You might have seen in truck carrying petrol. What do you see in the tank of those trucks? It is written as highly inflammable. Why highly inflammable is written in those truck? Because the ignition temperature of petrol is very low that the little increases of temperature will immediately catch fire. So these substances are called inflammable substances. So here I have given you some examples of inflammable substance like petrol, diesel, LPG, etc., which we all use at home, which we also say gas cylinder. When gas cylinder is leaked in case, why is it asked to switch off the light? Because gas cylinder or LPG is highly inflammable